the grand prize is $25,000 in cold hard cash!
Every day, they're calling. Hucksters, scammers, con artists. Calling seniors with tales of bogus lottery winnings, shady can't-lose investments, non-existent charities. Trying to talk potential victims out of their hard-earned money.
Hey guys, for our Widows Relief Fund, one of our guys get injured or killed in the line of duty. This money's set up to help the families out a little bit immediately.
But I want you to read that credit card number right now. Read it!
Hun, you were selected for the top spot in the $10,000 category. Congratulations to you.
Well, thank you.
You are guaranteed one of the largest awards this company's ever given away, and that's a big deal.
I would ask for as much money as you have in your account.
Vince is a convicted telephone con man, and his swindle was non-existent charities. If you sent him a donation, he got 35%. The owner of the boiler room kept the rest. And the charity? Well, if you sent money, your only charity was Vince.
And now where does that go to, Vince?
That's going to go to the food bank.
And what I was doing was taking advantage of people and having them send their money basically to me, as well as the company owners were making the most money on it. But that didn't bother me because everyday life and living, everybody is taking advantage of everybody nowadays, and I just put it in my mind, why not join the people that are taking advantage of people?
At least $40,000, at least that, because the checking account was $49,000 when I started out, and I ended up with about 4 or 5 at the most. So it all went down the drain to those people.
Hello?
Maybe you've been targeted to invest in oil wells, send your bank information to a Nigerian prince, or make $10,000 a month working at home. Or maybe you've won the Canadian lottery, the Spanish lottery, the Hong Kong lottery, and need to send a few $1,000s to cover the taxes. American consumers lose upwards of $40 billion a year to these and many other scams. A favorite fraud method is the telephone boiler room. Using lead lists of likely victims, called mooch lists by the criminals, these telemarketers aim to bleed you dry. Now AARP members are fighting back with the AARP Washington Fraud Fighter Call Center. Turning the tables on the con artists, we've got our own telephone boiler room. In cooperation with the Washington State Attorney General's office, we're calling potential victims to educate them about the scams and the warning signs.
Hi Mary, my name is Liz Mulligan. I'm a volunteer with AARP, Washington Fraud Fighter Call Center. We're calling you today because your name and phone number were found on a list used by fraudulent telemarketers.
One of the ironies of our project is that it's similar to the types of boiler rooms that are used by con artists. And law enforcement agencies across the country can tell you that a lot of times people who exploit seniors and others will have a boiler room operation. They're telephoning from lists of intended victims. And we are going to be using those same lists to advise people of the fact that they're being targeted. We're turning the tables on the con artists, so to speak. We're using some of the same techniques.
Research shows this approach works. A recent study by AARP and the U.S. Department of Justice revealed that peer counseling can reduce fraud by up to 50%. We've put this into practice.
The majority of people who are on the telephone are older baby boomers and people of retirement age, and they, I think, have a certain credibility when they speak with people on the telephone. They sound as if they're someone that you could trust, someone of their own age, someone who understands the situations that they're in and their life experiences.
I've volunteered now for about 6 or 8 sessions, and just listening to some victims, their stories, the problems they've had, I'm convinced that, number one, the Fraud Center is really needed, and number two, every person we contact, it makes a difference for them. I'm convinced of that.
By AARP setting up a fraud prevention call center, it gets the message out to help us and everybody else to be on the lookout for this. So when it comes up, they know who to call and some of the things to look for.
AARP's volunteers are trained by experts and given resources to provide help. While the volunteers don't give specific financial advice, they answer questions about fraud, refer consumers to appropriate agencies, and send out packets of educational material.
Evidently, some time ago you were interested in making an investment or perhaps opening a franchise. Oh, you were? All right. Well, as a result, fraudulent telemarketers may be calling you in the future. Oh, I'd be very happy to send you a packet of information. Is your address 25? Oh, I feel like I've done a great service. Just today, one woman said, you know, we've been getting calls here all the time from telemarketers. And I asked my husband, how did they get our name? And he said, I don't know how they got our name. However, he at one time had asked to invest, and his name had fallen into a fraudulent company's hands.
By taking on fraudulent telemarketers, the call center volunteers are fighting one of our fastest growing, most devastating crimes.
And I feel strongly that people like me who are looking for volunteer opportunities, they end up in places where everybody treats them nicely and they feel like they're making a difference. So that's why I'm here week after week, Wednesday after Wednesday.
Now, in response to consumer demand, AARP has set up a toll-free line where you can call in. You can reach us at 1-800-646-2283. And if you're concerned about someone else, you can confidentially request that a fraud fighter call them. The AARP Washington Fraud Fighter Call Center is the anti-criminal boiler room, and we can use your help. To get involved, call 1-800-646-2283 or email Project Director Gene Matheson at jmatheson@aarp.org.